So welcome to the session. We are studying the book Beyond the Mind, and we are starting a new chapter today. Isn't that exciting? So the chapter, we are on page 37, and the name of the chapter is Arhatic Yoga. So let's dive in. Arhatic Yoga is not a religion, it is non-sectarian and simply leads you to the truth. So this entire chapter we will be talking about Arhatic Yoga. What is Arhatic Yoga? It is the spiritual path, given by Master Choa. And I would not just call it a spiritual path because then it seems to be something apart from life. It is a way of life. It is a way of living life, with a good blend of spirituality that has been given to us by Master Choa. And what is the purpose? The purpose is the rapid achievement of the purpose of life. You see, always we have to remember what is the purpose of life? It is to achieve moksha or to achieve illumination or to achieve yoga or the union with the higher soul. And then, of course, later with God. So, this Arhatic Yoga is a school or a system or a set of practices, pardon me, set of knowledge, practices, and so on that Master Choa has given to the world and which helps us achieve or takes us rapidly, very quickly towards illumination or towards, yoga or achieving union with the higher soul. So, what Master is telling us here in simple words, it is non sectarian. What does it mean? Sectarian? Sectarian means when you belong to a sect. What is a sect? You see, a sect is a group of people with common beliefs. So, what he's saying is, it doesn't cause you to leave whatever existing sect you may belong to. And it is not a religion. So, whatever religion you are already in, whatever sect you are already in, it doesn't interfere with anything like that. It's actually Arhatic Yoga is not really a set of beliefs or a system of beliefs, but it is rather, I would say, it is a rational or a scientific approach, to how to live life, to how to do our sadhana meaning our spiritual practices. In the book which I keep quoting, Existence of God is Self-Evident, Master talks about, he says Arhatic Yoga is an example of union between science and spirituality. So we see that in Arhatic Yoga is of course a set of spiritual practices, but it is embedded or rooted on scientific approach. And what is the purpose? It says, then Master says, it leads you to the truth. So, what truth? What are we talking about here? You see, the basic, most fundamental truths are who are you or who am I? Why am I living? How should I live properly? You see, the most important thing in life is life, right? But there is no manual for how to live life. So it is left to these spiritual teachers, the gurus like Master Choa, who give us a manual for living life. You understand manual? Like you get any equipment, there is a manual which tells you how to operate it. Yeah, it may be online, it may be offline, it may be in a printed form or you know on the website of the manufacturer, but there will be a manual. But for life, there is no manual. So, what is the manual? For example, Arhatic Yoga. It is a way of living life. It gives us a method, a superior method for how to live life. Yeah. And what I like about Arhatic Yoga is that it gives us an experiential approach. It gives us techniques for everything, and as we practice the techniques diligently, we start our different types of experiences occur to us. We experience, in our experience, we see progression. If you understand what I'm saying, I hope at least I know some of you at least are Arhatic practitioners or Arhatic yogis. I hope you can understand or you can agree with what I'm saying that as you practice the experiences progress. What you experience also, it goes higher and higher. And the important thing Master is also telling us, which he will repeat in a later sutra, there is no need to abandon your existing religion or sect. On the contrary, your existing religion, you will understand more clearly. Personally, I can definitely attest to that. That I have, I was born a Hindu, but I was practically an atheist. And then, as I got into Arhatic yoga, and I did, I followed the five pillars that Arhatic yoga is based on. I am now become a proper Hindu because I am able to relate better to our beliefs, our systems, our the scriptural teachings, and so on. And one more thing that Master explains very beautifully in the existence of God is self-evident, which may be relevant to understanding this text here. There is a difference between religion and spirituality. One Guruji, if you heard of Art of Living, the founder of that, Sri Ravi Shankarji, he put it very beautifully. In, I think, the year 2000, or maybe it was 2001, at the turn of the millennium, there was a conference of spiritual teachers. I believe it was in New York. I don't remember now. But so there, Sri Ravi Shankarji put it very beautifully. I don't remember the exact words, but I'm just, sort of paraphrasing. He said, think of a banana. Yeah, all of us understand a banana. Now, religion is the peel, and the core is spirituality. The fruit is what you eat, is the spirituality. So I thought that was a very good way of putting it, that don't get stuck on the peel, don't get stuck on the religious, practices and symbols and so on the rituals and so on. Go to the core. And that is what he's saying, Master is saying, it simply leads you to the truth. That is the core. That is the real fruit, the spiritual truths that we need to understand. Okay, let's move on. Page 39, the first sutra. Arhatic yoga consists of yogic techniques designed to help us develop spiritually. It is prehistoric in origin. So, there is this Arhatic yoga. For those of you who may not have learnt about it, it comprises of a number of yogic techniques. Yogic meaning, in India we call the spiritual practitioners yogis. So the yogis have been practicing since ancient times. That's why Master says it is prehistoric. So whatever the oldest text you can find, it already mentions yoga and yogis. Yeah. And something that Master hasn't talked about here, but it's important to know this. By the way, I really encourage you to read about Arhatic yoga. If you are not already aware of what Arhatic yoga is, read about it. There are many websites. I like the explanation given on the the Kolkata Pranic Healing Community. They have done a good job of explaining Arhatic Yoga. And of course, in many of Master's books, most best of all, his autobiography, The Origin of Modern Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. Do read about it. So, commonly you will find that Arhati yoga is called, number one, the synthesis of yogas. And number two, it is called the yoga of synthesis. So synthesis of yogas is easy to understand. As soon as you get into Arhatic yoga, you will understand, because it combines many schools of yoga. Many schools like Bhakti Yoga, the school of devotion, Karma Yoga, the school of action, Jnana Yoga, the school of knowledge, Raj Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, the yoga of meditation, Hatha Yoga, the yoga of physical exercises, Mantra Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, etc., etc. All those are synthesized into a set of practices which Master has called Arhatic Yoga. Interesting, although it is not, I think, discussed in this chapter, the word Arhatic Yoga. Arhat is a Buddhist or a Pali term. Pali is a part of India, is a region of India. They have their own language. So in the Pali language, Arhat, and this is where the Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni or Lord Gautama, He lived and he taught. So the word arhat there means a respected person, highly respected person. Like you may say, respected sir or respected madam. So arhat refers to a person of great respect. So arhatic yoga is to, the higher form of, or to become a very highly evolved person, something like that. So anyway, we were talking about the synthesis of different yogas. So how Master has done is that he has created 5 pillars. The first pillar is devotion. Devotion to whom? To God, and reverence to the teacher. Second, purification. Physical, internal, and so on. External purification, internal purification. Meditation, third pillar. Fourth pillar, service. Service and tithing. Fifth is study. Yeah. So all the different yoga schools get sort of synthesized into one beautiful framework, and that is what you practice when you come into Arhatic Yoga. At a higher level, then Arhatic Yoga is also called the yoga of synthesis. When you say yoga of synthesis, what does it mean? So, yoga, of course, means spiritual practice, but synthesis here means that you are synthesizing different types of energies, different levels of energies, different levels of consciousness. Those are synthesized. Now, it's a little hard to explain, but when you get to that level, so Arhatic Yoga is many levels. The first one is the Arhatic Yoga preparatory level. So, you have to start there and then you progress slowly and keep progressing. All right. Sutra number 2. Arhatic yoga consists of techniques and energy. Energy makes the techniques work. Therefore, the blessings of the Guru and the higher beings are very important. So, that is, if you remember the 5 pillars I was talking about, the first pillar, that is devotion to God and reverence to the teacher. The main purpose of that is to empower us, to fill us up with enough energy that we are able to do the techniques properly. When Master says energy makes the techniques work, you do the same techniques without the energy, the effect is not the same. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm spilling the beans here, but two main techniques: invocation, prayer, and secondly, Sharnagati. And the interesting thing with Master Choa is that he made this as a way of life. Everything he would do, starting a meeting, starting a class, anything he would do, start a discussion, first do an invocation. And that is a habit that all of us try to bring into our lives also. And by the way, there is a very, very nice video of Master Choa. He's being interviewed, and the topic is prayer, or this pillar 1. So, my suggestion is please do go through it if you haven't seen it. So, you go to our website, go to the blog section, look for the blog post on October 21st, 2024. 21st October 2024. So there you will find someone else has posted that link. We have just given you a link to that. So do please spend time on that. It's not very long, maybe 15-20 minutes at most. So, but you know, at least I can say for myself, my conception, my understanding of prayer, my what should I say, approach towards God and the angels, or my how should I put it? My relationship with the angels and with God and the higher beings, that changed because I understood a lot of things from that. All right, the next sutra is a little long. Arhatic yoga is eclectic. Eclectic, the word means it is you pick up best things from many collections and make a new collection. That's usually called an eclectic mix. So, Arhatic yoga is eclectic. People from many religions, Taoists, Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, Jews, and Hindus practice Arhatic yoga techniques. You don't have to change your religion. You are not asked to change your religious beliefs. All people can practice within their own religion. With Arhatic yoga, you just become a better Hindu, a better Buddhist, a better Christian, etc., etc. So, we've talked about this, right? synthesis of yoga. So master has picked best practices from different yogas. We talked about it, bhakti yoga and karma yoga and gyan yoga and so on. So he's picked up the best practices and created a new collection, or a new collection of knowledge and techniques. And that is what Arhatic yoga is. Now, interesting thing he says is you just become a better, Hindu. So what he's saying is you become better at your own religion. So you may think, why? How can that happen? You see, because now you are no longer satisfied with just the window dressing. You remember banana and peel. So now you are not just satisfied with the peel. You want the banana. So you want to go to the core truths. Don't want to be limited to just the empty rituals or the symbols and so on. You want to understand them. Even if you do the same rituals now, you do it with the deeper understanding, with proper understanding. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing it this way? Why this way? Why not this way? Etc. Etc. Yeah. All right. Let's go on. The purpose of spiritual practice or yoga is to achieve divine union. It continues. Number one, with the higher soul, a spiritual practitioner who achieves this level of development is called a soul realized person or an arhat. Number two, with the divine spark and God, a person who has achieved this level of development is a God realized person, a true child of God, a divine incarnate. So, the question that comes, if you are not, sort of familiar with Master's terminology, he says is to achieve divine union with the higher soul. But when you say union, there have to be two things. So the one thing is the higher soul. What is the second thing? So it is the incarnated soul, which is the portion of the soul that is present in the person. So if you consider me as a person, within me there is the incarnated soul, the soul, the portion of the soul which has come down to the physical level and has taken up all the bodies, the physical body, this body, that body, which is animating them actually. So that is so that has to, the consciousness of this has come down many levels. It has to now rise. And when it rises sufficiently, it unites with the higher soul. And Arhatic yoga is a sure, short way of achieving the state of the first one with the higher soul. So this is guaranteed. You follow Arhatic yoga, it may take more time, less time, depends on how diligent you are, how seriously you practice, how regularly you practice, how properly you practice. Then you are guaranteed to achieve. So then if you will be called a Arhat, or you may be called a Paramahansa in the Sanskrit literature. So he is a soul realized person. Now, interesting thing, Master says with the divine spark and God. A person who has achieved this level is a God realized person, a true child of God. What does it mean, true child of God? Aren't we all children of God? I mean, when we do the soul affirmation, one of the lines there says, I am connected with God, I am a child of God, I am connected with God, I am one with God. Yes. So are we already not children of God? Now, Master, the key word here is true child of God. True here would, I think, in my understanding, it would mean that when we are true children of God, when every moment we are living with that consciousness, we are living with that constant experience of this connection with God, of being close to God, of being connected with God, of being one with God. Yeah. And when Master says a divine incarnate, so the divine spark, with the divine spark, achieve union with the divine spark. So such a state is then called the Paramatma, because Param means the highest and greatest, and of course you add Atma, the soul. So the soul goes to the highest possible level of consciousness. And such a person, I mean, if you achieve that in this lifetime, in your next lifetime, you may choose not to take birth, or you may choose to come back as an avatar and help humanity. So then you will be like a Avatar. You understand avatar? Yeah. Okay, let's go on. For an arhatic yogi, nothing is taboo. Everything is subject to study. Everything is subject to examination. So taboo, the word means prohibited. No, 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 this we cannot discuss. This we have to accept blindly. No, nothing like that. In arhatic yoga, we are open to question everything. No need for blind belief. In arhatic yoga, you are given the freedom to think, to make your own choice, your own decision. Great beings are not restricted to a single religion. Religions are interconnected. Their roots are very deep. I think we can read this one sutra with two parts. The first part is you are given the freedom to think, to make your own choice, your own decision. So this continues from what the previous sutra says. There is a lot of flexibility. The approach is not rigid or ritualistic. Now the second part says that great beings are not, that second part. So here something we can talk about. You see, all the great religions, the founders of all the great religions, all the great teachers who have come in different religions, they are the ones who are being referred to as great beings. Now, they have taught the same essential core truths. Because you see, these great beings, they have direct and complete knowledge of the ultimate truth, which is the same whether you talk about Christianity, this, that, and so on. I mean, one of the efforts that Master Choa made in his lifetime was to try to show how all different major religions are teaching the same core truths. So the great beings already know that. Unfortunately, ordinary people like us, we see or we are more focused on the differences. We are unable to see how they are all teaching the same thing. This is our limitation. So to us, it seems like different knowledge, different teachings. But to the great beings, it's the same single universal core truth. In Arhatic Yoga, the teachings are easy to understand because they have been pre-digested for you. Yes, Master, we are very grateful for that. Pre-digested means very simplified, made easy to understand. Like in some of the animals, the infant animal, the mother will pre-chew, pre-digest, the food and then put it in the mouth of the child. So something like that, because the child has limitation in digestion. Similarly, for us, our Guruji has pre-digested the teachings, made them simple, broken them down, made them easy to understand. And also, somewhere Master has acknowledged that the development of science has also helped. Like, for example, distance healing. How does distance healing work? So, Master says principle of interconnectedness. Now, for all of us having experienced cell phones, it is very easy to understand. How is my phone connected to your phone? No wire in between. Similar. So these things have helped us understand some of the things of Arhatic yoga, of pranic healing, and so on. In Arhatic yoga, an entire system has been given to you. First, you must know or understand, then you must remember, then practice, and finally master the teachings and techniques. All you have to do is follow the system. So just please think about, meditate on these four steps that Master has talked about. First, knowing or understanding, then remembering, then practicing, and then mastering. Not just for Arhatic yoga. Any system you want to learn, any system you want to get into. Maybe it is, like I can tell you from my lifetime, I've done circuit design. There, same thing used to happen. I've done software writing, coding, programming. There, same thing used to happen. You must understand, then remember, because without memory, it's too slow. Number three, you must practice. And it is through constant practicing and referring to the teachings and practice and experience and referring to the teachings, slowly mastery will come. Mastery takes time, it can't be overnight. Yeah. And in, spirituality, there are levels. It's not like a jump, it's a slow progression. As you advance in the practice of Arhatic Yoga, you will achieve self mastery. Life will not be emotionally chaotic. Your soul will be in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. Now, this is again, I mean, this is like a real practical benefit. Even if you say, I am not interested in spiritual progress, will it help me lead a better life? Yes, it will. And this is why. This is the reason why this will help you lead a better life. आप समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? आप हो सकता है बोलें कि मेरे को आध्यात्मिकता में इंटरेस्ट नहीं, मैं नहीं मानता कि जीवन का उद्देश्य आध्यात्मिक विकास है. Still, this is helpful. Even if you don't want to progress spiritually, even in your day to day life, because it says, and I can attest, I can, I stand as proof of this, that you will achieve self mastery. Now, it doesn't mean that I have achieved 100% self mastery, but I have greater control over my thoughts and emotions than I used to have before I got into Aratic yoga. Much higher control. Even now, I will get upset. Even now, I may get, a flash of anger or irritation, but I recover very quickly. I come back to normal state very, very quickly. See, you must meditate on this line: in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. What does it mean? What would it mean to be in control? Is it good for you? Is it not good for you? In control of emotion, you see, what happens is, especially in the mind is restless, the mind is difficult to control. But as you practice Aratic yoga, you slowly get control of your mind. To be in control of my emotion is that I will get angry, or I will show anger when it is necessary, but I will not get angry just because what somebody else has said. Thinking, I will think on a subject when I want to think on that subject, not because somebody is saying something I read somewhere, some message on my WhatsApp. If that is not the right time for me to think about it, I will tell the mind, switch off, cut. Yeah. Please think about it. Do meditate on this line, because this is a very practical aspect of Arhatic yoga. And it should be of any spiritual school. All right. By the time we are on the last one of this, we are a little over the time, but let's finish it. By the time the practitioner reaches the Arhatic Yoga level 7, the yogi is already practicing to become an Arhat. Don't get stuck. Keep moving. So, Arhatic Yoga has many levels of practice. And my suggestion is either go through the website, so just do a Google search, or else, Master's autobiography, The Origin of Modern Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. Their master has explained it very beautifully. Now, why level 7? Because at level 7, if you are practicing, then you are already a fully attained Arhat. And that is the highest level that Master Choa has taught to any of his students. Beyond that, now Master said nobody is ready as yet. And we hope that, some of us will become ready, and then Master will take birth again, or somehow he will arrange to teach the people who are ready. So that's a long way to go. First, I think start with the preparatory level, then progress to level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, 5, and so on. Long way to go. So do learn. If you don't already know Arhatic Yoga, please do learn, and learn Arhatic Yoga. And if you already have learned, please practice it diligently, regularly. And because the importance of that is that it is a way to achieve the purpose of life. What can be more important than that? Right?